What's going on, guys? Balkan Architect here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to build this really cool spiral twisted building inside of Revit. Now, because of some of the tools that Revit has, it's actually going to be very simple and straightforward to design this shape, so it's going to be a quick and fun Revit gameplay tutorial. Now, before we jump into Revit, I would like to encourage you to check out my website balkanarchitect.com. I'm going to link it up just below this video in the description, and then also up in the cards above. Now, on my website you can find all of my different courses. I have over 130 hours of content, and I'm adding more each month. And one of those courses, for example, is kind of complex shapes and massing inside of Revit, where I teach you how to build or design any sort of shape and turn it into a building inside of Revit. So I think that's pretty cool. Also, there you can find some of my customized, ready-to-go Revit templates. You can find some really high-quality Revit families. Actually, I've added some new families recently, so make sure to check that out. And then also there is a really cool plugin that you might want to check out. Okay, so now without any further ado, let's jump straight into Revit. And here we are in Revit. As you can see, I'm just at my home screen, so I'm going to go here to Models, go to New, and then for the template file, I'm just going to choose my architecture design template. Yeah, that's one of those that you can find on my website, as I said, and I'm going to link it up in the cards above. Anyways, now once we're here, this is just the starting page, so I'm just going to go to the south elevation for the beginning, and then I'm going to drop the level 2 from 360 to 300 centimeters, and then I'm going to add an additional level 3 above, so just like this. Okay, so now once we have these 3 levels, we can get started. So to get started, let's go down to level 1. Yeah, let's start from level 1. And then I'm going to go to floor, because we're obviously starting from a floor. And then let's go to a circle. And let's make a circle that has a diameter of, well, let's go with 300 centimeters. Okay, so once we have this one circle here, let's build another circle that has a diameter of, so let's go with 700 or 800. Yeah, let's go with 800 centimeters. So that means that the distance here is going to give us 5 meters, which I think it's more than enough for this type of a house. Okay, then let's extend one of these sides, so just like that. Perhaps let's just extend it like this for now, and then let's do the same thing here. So just like that, there we go, and then we can close those up here. Okay, so this is basically going to be the shape of our building. Now, obviously, we cannot make the entire shape right now because we can't have really overlapping floors. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to cut it here. So I'm just going to get rid of this part here, and then I'm just going to make it like this, like kind of a letter P. So you want to go here to the split element tool, and then you want to split this circle in a couple of places, just like that. Then you want to go to trim and extend to corner, and trim and extend it here, 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 and here. Okay, so once we have something that looks like this, we can simply hit finish and we're done, and let's just make it concrete for now. Okay, perfect. So if I go to the 3D view, this is what we have. So this is what we have kind of on the ground. So obviously I want this to be kind of a twisted building, so let's modify this shape now. So to modify the shape, what you want to do first is just, well, select it, and then what you want to do next is go here to modify sub-elements, and then you can just select the sub-elements, and then I can move this to, I want it to be at level 2, which is at 300 centimeters, so I just type in 300, and then it's just going to move up, and we have that kind of spiral shape there. Looks perfectly fine. Okay, let's now go to level 2, and then on the level 2 we can go here to floor, and then we can kind of finish that floor. So this should be 500, and then this position, let's kind of go from here, and let's go, it should go past 300, and there we go. Hit finish and make it concrete as well. and this looks cool. So here we go. We have kind of the bottom of that. So this is the floor. Now we should model the roof, and the whole process for the roof is pretty much the same. So I'm just going to go here to level 2, and then I'm going to go to the roof. Now here for the roof, you want to make sure that the define slope is turned off. So you just uncheck define slope, and then you can just use pick lines. So pick lines is going to work perfectly fine. So I'm just going to select these lines here, those lines there, and then I can, how should I approach this? Yeah, let's go up to here. Okay, perfect. And then I can just, I can just go to trim and extend to corner, fix it up here. There we go. Go to the 3D view, hit finish, and this is the roof we have. Now we should bring the roof up, so let's go to modify sub-elements, click here, and then move this up again 300 millimeters. Okay, so this is the top point of the roof. So for example, if I were to go to the south elevation, you can see that this is the top line. So it's going kind of over my level 3. So if you want it to be in the same line as level 3, you need to offset it by the thickness, which is in this case 40 centimeters. So what I could do is I could simply write here to 60 if I want. And in this case, do I want it? Well, we'll see if this is needed or not. So for example, here I can see that this thing is kind of a little bit above. Now I can change it here, or I can just simply change the base offset. So what I would do here in this particular case is I would actually just change the base offset to -20. So it's perfectly aligned to the bottom of this, because that's just going to make a clean ceiling here, and I think it's just going to look a little bit more correct. And then for the line here on top, if I now look from the south elevation, now it's a little bit too low. So I can go to modify sub-elements and then go back to the 3D view, and then this, instead of 260, I think if I go with 280, it's going to be perfectly aligned, and it is. So there we go. Looks perfect. Okay, so once we have this whole thing in check, then let's go to level 3, and we cannot see anything. So if you cannot see the things below, you can either change the view range settings, or you can simply give it an underlay. So if I go with an underlay from level 1 up to level 3, like this, I'm going to see everything, so that looks good. And then I can simply create another roof shape here. Again, make sure that the define slope is unchecked, and then it's just a simple rectangle like so. There we go. Hit finish. There's the roof, and then you just want to drop it by -40 centimeters. Perfect. And we have that roof shape. And then we also need one roof here as well, and then for that we would go to level 2. We can even select this roof and then right click and go to create similar, or use the CS shortcut, and then it's just a matter of kind of aligning it with this. Let's see there. Perfect. Hit finish, go to the 3D view, double check that. Okay, this should go down -20 just to be aligned. And there we go. Perfect. Okay, so once we have all of this in check, then it's time to connect it to the walls. Now, here I just want to bring up one topic. So here you can have this house. Essentially, it's going to be a house. You can have it like this, where it's like a spiral floor. But I don't know how much that would work as a house. I don't know how much would you like to live in a house where the floor is kind of always tilted a little bit. So if you don't like that, what you can do is you can make this in terms of kind of segments. So you can do that if you want. You can break it and just have a few horizontal steps. So that's one of the options. This is the second option, so just keep that in mind. Anyways, now let's connect all of this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to connect the bottom. So I want the bottom to have a floor, or sorry, to have a solid wall in the bottom, and then up here I want to have a curtain wall. So this is basically how I'm going to do that. Just go to level 1, go to walls, and then I can just use here, I'm going to use the interior bearing wall. That's okay. Make sure the location line is set to finish face exterior, and then go and just select this line here. Oops, this is on the outside. I don't want that. So I think I have two walls here. Okay, I want to get rid of this one. So this is essentially what I want. So then I can connect it just a little bit here more. So let's go down to level 1. Okay, let's create a new wall like that, and then do the same thing on the inside. So again, just pick lines like that. Perfect. And then just one more wall here. You can use the space key to flip it around. Okay, there we go. So we have this floor in place now. And then, yeah, that's it. So now you just want to select this wall, go to attach top base, and then select this spiral here, unjoin the elements. Oops, what's wrong? Okay, sometimes it can give you error messages because it starts kind of here above. So you can just kind of move that a little bit, and then it should do the job. So let's see if that was the issue. So it is giving us issues somewhere, so let's see. Oh, because this is horizontal, and then that could be giving us, let's see. Okay, so if it's giving you issues like this, it could be just because of this thing, or the floor on the bottom. So let's go and split this into 2 floors. So that would probably be the best solution. So split this in half, get rid of this part, and then just do another floor here. Just like so. Okay, so we have split this, so let's see, will it work now? We can probably start from the... Okay, it's still giving us issues somewhere. Let's see, is it here? So you have to kind of play around when it's giving you issues like this. You never know where the actual problem is. Or alternatively, what you can do is you can split this. So I'm just going to split this wall in a few places and then see where it's giving me issues. So this part, I believe it should work with no problems, and it does, as you can see. Then let's try this one, attach top base. Yeah, no problems there. And then here on the bottom we're having problems. So I think it's just because of this overlap here. So as soon as I bring it there, it should probably work. So, oops, no. Perhaps just a little bit more. Yeah, I know this can be really annoying, but yeah, it's just, there we go. So we've fixed it. So it's a little bit back and forth until you just figure out what Revit wants. So here, let's not make the same mistake again. So I'm just going to kind of move that a little bit away. Okay, now it works perfectly. And there we go. So we have a kind of a solid wall on the bottom, and then on top we want to have a curtain wall. So for the curtain wall, again, you would go to wall. Let's go to level, let's start with level 1. And then start with that curtain wall. Okay. And then we can start from all the way from here. Go like that. Up to this point, and then we can go kind of in an arc shape all the way up to here. There we go. Oops. So this went a little bit this got, oh, I should have started or finished here. Okay, let's do that again. So as I said, it's a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of trial and error, and if you're making some mistakes, that's okay, that's perfectly fine. That should have been an arc, so let's do that. One final third try should do the trick, and then make it an arc. Perfect. Okay, so now when you have a curtain wall, obviously you want the top to go up to the roof, so you go to attach top base, and then here you select this, so it's just going to attach, delete the elements that are not necessary. But what do you do now with the part where it's going all the way to the floor? Well, again, you go to attach top base, but now you switch to base, and then you select this one, and then it's going to give you a few errors, but there we go. Now, as you can see, it's kind of following the proper line. Here it's having some issues with this floor. That's perfectly fine. Attach top base, select that floor, delete the elements, and again you can do the same thing for this roof, just to make sure that it's completely attached. So now we have the curtain wall on the outside, and then of course up here you should continue it, obviously. So you would go here to wall, click here, and then just kind of extend it all the way to the edge. Or perhaps you want to leave a balcony there, so perhaps we would stop here. Something like that, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then perhaps we can have just some railing here for the balcony. Let's see. Let's do glass. So something like this. There we go. I think it looks good. And then let's select this one and this one, these two curtain walls, and just attach them to the roof. Okay, so now once we have these in place, let's just do the interior ones. So let's go back into level 1, and then it's just the same approach. So wall, a storefront, curtain wall. Now in this case I'm going to start from here because obviously we have a wall there, so it doesn't make sense to not include that. Go up to the line here, and then use an arc to go all the way up to there, and then just make that arc. And that should flip to the other side. Yeah, like so. So let's see that. Maybe this line should go a little bit towards the inside. Okay, there we go. And now we can go back to the 3D view, just see what we have there. There we go, perfect. So select that, again, attach top base, attach it here, delete elements, and then attach top base, and attach the base to there. Delete the elements that have to be deleted, and then we also have this little segment there. So this one we should attach top base to this. Perfect. And there we go. We have our building, and then this can be a balcony as well, I guess, or it can just stay as a roof. So let's just finish this up here in this section. So for that, let's go down to level 1, and let's just repeat this wall here. So it's just kind of the same line as that wall there. And this is what we get as an end result. So just these two walls, make sure to, just make sure to attach them to the roof, delete the unnecessary elements, and here we go. We have this really, really interesting house. We really need this wall here as well, so let's go to level 2, and let's just finish that, and I think that's it. Hopefully that will kind of complete our building, and it does. We just need to attach it. There we go. So it's a very simple way to do this. You can see I've kind of completed the entire design in like 15 minutes. So I think it's really simple to model something like this in Revit, and also it's really fun. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you would like to download this model, you can find it on my Patreon page. I'm going to link it up just below this video in the description, and then also up in the cards above. There you can find all of my Revit project files, over 400 files so far. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.